Papa Squad, come at ya. We're gonna listen to something from Ren. This is Hi Ren, which I think was like his first big song. I'm not entirely sure. Um, Came out in 2022, December of 2022. It's got 69.5 million views on YouTube. I have not ever heard of this. One of the guys that I work with at the new company mentioned it to me, and he was like, "Oh, you gotta check this guy's stuff out. Have you ever heard of stuff? Never heard of it." You, as connoisseurs of the internet, may know who Ren is because, again, this song has 69.5 million views. So I don't know. We're gonna find out about Ren. Please like, subscribe, and share. Please go watch another video on the channel. CashApp, PayPal, Patreon down below in the description of the video. I'm going to try and go fast because this video is 9 minutes and 19 seconds long. And it's late. It's 12:40 at night. Ren. Ren. Singer, songwriter, producer, rapper, multi-instrumentalist. Music is Ren's love. Discovered while playing on the streets as a teenager, he signed with Sony Records in 2010. I had no idea. Due to a seemingly mysterious disease discovered in the same year he got dropped, it took professionals years to discover that Lyme disease was the cause of his suffering. Yeah, that's no joke. During this time, he was stuck in his bedroom. Ren turned to writing and producing songs about his illness, isolation, and depression. With the help of donators, Ren underwent several stem cell transplants. In 2016, released his debut album, Freckled Angels, with the intention to raise awareness for his disease. Interesting. Staying down to earth, he can still be found mainly in Brighton, England. London? Brighton? No, it's a city on its own. Busking with his friends on the streets with Sam Tompkins. He has released the well-received track Blind Eyed in 2018. In 2019, Ren and two of his friends have announced the creation of their band, The Big Push. In 2023, Ren released his album Sick Boy, B-O-I, which has become his first ever #1 selling album. There we go. It looks like he's released 2 albums so far in 2026, Vincent's Tale and Asylum. He's got 166 Soul from 2025, Sick Boy in 2023, Digital Deluxe and the regular version. Violet's Tale 2022. So he's making a lot of music. He's making the music. I like his posters on the wall. He's got Talking Heads. I'm not sure what that In Excess. Those are not bad influences to have. There is a little bio about this song. Ren wrote in the comments of this song's release video, "Up until I was 9 years old, I would intermittently hear a voice in my head that was not my own. The voice was distinctly different to mine and always negative. It would self-criticize or urge me to do things I knew to be morally wrong. The most peculiar thing about the voice was that it took no effort on my behalf to produce. My own thoughts always felt there was a process that required effort to bring them to the forefront of my mind. This voice appeared as though it was spoken by another. The sentences felt predetermined, like they had already been constructed. I remember very vividly at 9 years old becoming very frustrated with the voice. I stood in my backyard, internally screaming at the voice to be silent again and again, and it did. In a flash there was silence, to the point where my head felt like an empty room. I wasn't used to the quiet, and that voice never returned. It almost felt lonely in my head. When I got older, I had intermittent bouts with auditory hallucinations where I would hear perfect symphonies, usually at night when drifting off to sleep. They were so clear that they sounded like they were emanating from the radio in the corner of my room. I knew they weren't there, but for some reason they never came with the feeling of fear. I also recall sitting on a bus at the age of 15 and hearing the sound of a crowded room with about 100 voices chattering away. I was the only person apart from the driver on the bus. These experiences were always very brief and few and far between." Oh my goodness, this is quite long. My last hallucination was during an intense bout of psychosis in 2015 and was my first visual hallucination. I was walking down a pavement after jumping out of my mom's car in a crossroads in a moment of frustration and distress with my condition. I was trying to run from myself. What appeared to be a homeless man with a dark complexion approached me and asked me what was wrong. I explained that I had been sick most of my life and I wasn't sure I had the strength to continue. He looked at me and smiled and told me everything is going to be okay in the end, Ren. And I had not told him my name. There was something so overpoweringly sincere about this very simple message, which brought with it an overwhelming feeling of inner peace, and in a flash he vanished. Vanished. I can talk. Vanished. He vantaged. Sorry. Oh, I'm dropping stuff. Um, Cherry ginger ale. My rational brain always linked these experiences to what the doctors have told me, that there were parts of my brain compromised by the autoimmunity in my body, that the myelin sheaths surrounding the complex electrical system that conduct my thoughts were damaged and compromised, causing these lucid experiences that I knew did not exist inside the physical world. The part of me that edges away from logical and rational thought always attributed these thoughts to some kind of otherworldly intervention that made my thoughts the battleground of some spiritual tug of war. For a long time, I never really acknowledged this part of myself, for with it brought the danger and stigma of sounding like a crazy person. I decided with my latest release to the best of my ability to capture and express this chess match of thought. Um, So only people who have watched a lot of my videos will understand what I'm talking about when I say this is a perfect example of a lot of the stuff that I've talked about on this channel. We all live in our own dimension. There are however many dimensions there are that exist in physics or whatever. First dimension, second dimension, third dimension, fourth dimension is time. I don't know what the other dimensions are. And then there's another dimension for every single one of us that exists. That's kind of my theory. We all exist in our own dimension. They all kind of cross over. We overlap with each other. Ren's dimension is very, very different than mine. His experiences, his life, what he's gone through, the way his body is made, the way his brain works, all entirely different than mine, than yours, than anybody else's. And that's true of all of us. None of us operate exactly the same. And we all receive information differently. Ren receives information from other parts of his brain that we don't receive that information from. He has hallucinations, things that don't exist. They easy to just say mentally ill, sick. Um, but is he? I mean, it's just how he's put together. And he obviously has learned to play music, to write songs, to get by in the world, even though I'm sure there were many, many challenges to get there. Not because he wanted to act weird or have strange hallucinations, but just because that's what his existence, that's what his reality is. And in addition, getting back to like the stuff I talk about on this channel, this is the sort of thing that it is brave of him to talk about all this stuff, because there are a lot of people who would be like, "Oh, that's weird. You're a fucking freak." But there are some people who will hear this song, listen to what he has to say, his description of how he experiences the world and what he's gone through to get to this point, and will say, "Oh my God, I'm not alone. I'm not the only one who shit like this has happened to. And if this guy can get through it, maybe I can. Not, I definitely can, but maybe I can." And this is why music is important, art is important, speaking up about your experiences is important, recognizing that even though you are a unique person in the world, there are other people who need to hear your story because they may share something in common with you and may not ever have encountered someone who has experienced things like you have and like they have. So, I have never heard this song as far as I know. It is long, 9 minutes, 19 seconds. And let's check it. I may have lots to say. I may have very little to say. I have no idea. Please like, subscribe, and share. Please go watch another video on the channel. CashApp, PayPal, Patreon down below in the description of the video. I'm not sure if I said all this already. Also down below is a playlist of 13 tracks that I've listened to recently and just put it all into a playlist. Go check it out. It's the music. It's not me talking about it. Let's go. Ren with Hi Ren. So I gotta say, this guy who wheels him in with the blood on his outfit, another pig reference. The last video I just did have pig references. He's wearing a pig mask. This totally 100% reminds me of a new Batman villain from the last 10-15 years called, is it Mr. Pig? Yes, it is. Professor Pig? Professor Pig is a Batman villain. I know, it's crazy, right? And he is, wears a pig mask and dresses in like a slaughterhouse outfit. Yeah, created by Grant Morrison, Andy Kubert, and Frank Quitely, and debuted in Batman number 666, July of 2007. Before being introduced as a recurring character in the mainstream DC universe 2 years later in Batman and Robin number 1. Oh, I didn't know that. So yes, that's what that reminded me of right off the bat. Hi, Ren. So I see he is picking without a pick. He's using fingers, his hands. And in fact, as I was listening to this, it made me think of Lindsey Buckingham, who was one of the main guys in Fleetwood Mac, the guitarist, and just an incredible artist. I like his solo stuff more than I like his stuff with Fleetwood Mac, but he plays some just absolutely beautiful guitar, and so this reminded me of it. And so I also think it's interesting that both of these people don't use a pick; they're using their fingers. Go listen to some Lindsey Buckingham solo stuff. It's so good.
Hi there, Ren. It's been a little while. Did you miss me? You thought you buried me, didn't you? Risky. Cause I always come back. Deep down, you know that. Deep down, you know I'm always in periphery. Ren, aren't you pleased to see me? It's been weeks since we spoke, bro. I know you need me. You're the sheep, I'm the shepherd. Not your place to lead me. Not your place to be biting off the hand that feeds me. Hi, Ren. I've been taking some time to be distant. I've been taking some time to be still. I've been taking some time to be by myself since my therapist told me I'm ill. And I've been making some progress lately. And I've learned some new coping skills. So I haven't really needed you much, man. I think we need to just step back and chill. Ren, you sound more insane than I do. You think that those doctors are really there to guide you? Been through this a million times. Your civilian mind is so perfect to always being lied to. Okay, take another pill, boy. Drown yourself in the sound of white noise. Follow this 10-step program, rejoice. All your problems will be gone. Fucking dumb boy. Nah, mate. This time is different, man. Trust me. I feel like things might be falling in place. And my music's been kinda doing bits too. Like I actually might do something great. And when I'm gone, maybe I'll be remembered for doing something special with myself. That's why I don't think that we should talk, man. Cause when you're with me, it never seems to help. You think that you can amputate me? I am you, you are me, you are I am we are one. Split in two, that makes one. So you see, you gotta kill you if you wanna kill me. I'm not leftover dinner, I'm not scraps on the side. Oh, your music is thriving, delusional guy. Where's your top 10 hit? Where's your interview with Oprah? Where are your Grammys, Ren? Nowhere. Yeah, but my music's not commercial like that. I never chase numbers, statistics or stats. I never write hooks for the radio, they never even play me, so why would I concern myself with that? But my music is really connecting, and the people who find it respect it. And for me that's enough, cause this life's been tough, so it gives me a purpose I can rest in. Man, you sound so pretentious. Ren, your music is so self-centered. No one wants to hear another song about how much you hate yourself. Trust me. You should be so lucky, having me inside you to guide you, remind you to manage expectations, provide you perspective. That thing you neglected, I get it. You wanna be a big deal, next Jimi Hendrix, forget it. Man, it's not like that. Man, it's just like that. I'm inside you, you twat. No, it's not, man, you're wrong. When I write, I belong. Let me break the fourth wall by acknowledging this song. Ren sits down, has a stroke of genius. He wants to write a song that was not done previous. A battle with the subconscious, Eminem did it. Played on guitar, Plan B did it. Man, you're not original, you criminal rip-off artist. The pinnacle of your success is stealing other people's material. Ren, mate, we've heard it all before. She sells seashells on the seashore. Fuck you, I don't need you, I don't need to hear this. Cause I'm fine by myself, I'm a genius. And I will be great, and I will make waves, and I'll shake up the whole world beneath us. That's right, speak your truth, your fucking God complex leaks out of you. It's refreshing to ask for you, say it instead of downplay it. Music is all about the creative process, and if people can find something to relate to within that, then that's just a bonus. Fuck you, I'ma fucking kill you, Ren. Well, fucking kill me then, let's fucking have you, Ren. I'ma do it, watch me prove it. Who are you to doubt my music? Cause I call the shots, I choose if you die. Yeah, I call the shots and so I choose who survives. I'll tie you up in knots when I lock you inside. Newsflash. I was created at the dawn of creation. I am temptation. I am the snake in Eden. I am the reason for treason. Beheading all kings, I am sin, with no rhyme or reason. Son of the morning, Lucifer, Antichrist, father of lies. Mustopheles, truth in a blender, deceitful pretender, the banished avenger, the righteous surrender when standing in front of my solar eclipse. My name is stitched to your lips, so you see, I won't bow to the will of a mortal. Feeble and normal, you wanna kill me? I'm eternal immortal. I live in every decision that catalyzes chaos, that causes division. I live inside death, the beginning of end. I am you, you are me, I am you, Ren.
So I'm I want to stop there before he goes into the bridge here, or what they have labeled the bridge. So it sounds like this song doesn't map exactly to what he experienced. This is a fictionalized version of sort of, I'm sure, the battle he has with himself inside his head every day of like the doubts that anybody has about what they're doing, and are they good enough, and do they have a god complex, and why should anyone care about what you have to say about anything? You're just you, you're not all that special, blah 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 blah. And both sides are right to an extent. I think the real Ren side, not the evil Ren, is actually more correct. But his other half, the reason why it's so compelling is because there is a touch of truth in what it has to say, and quite a significant touch of truth. Why should anyone care what he has to say? He is just this guy. But they should care what he has to say because he has something to say, and he has executed it in a way that is interesting, that gets people's attention, that makes them sit up and take notice. It's entertaining. It's also very good. And the entire thing is just incredibly compelling. Because you can tell he has had this conversation in his head, maybe not spelled out exactly like this, but it's just like when you're doing something and you have your own doubts and you are fighting with yourself. Why are you doing this? Why? Who cares? Nobody cares. You keep working and nothing happens from it. But this time maybe it will. Well, maybe it will, but you know what? It probably won't because it hasn't before. So why do you keep trying? Bubble, 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 back and forth, back and forth. So everybody gets it. Everybody understands. He's a good writer. The story is good. His ability to jump back and forth between the two characters is quite good. I mean, even if it's just for this video, I don't know if he recorded this all in one take when he was in the booth recording it. Probably not. But it's great. Let's keep going. I don't really have anything else to add.
Hi Ren, I've been taking some time to be distant. I've been taking some time to be still. I've been taking some time to be by myself, and I've spent half my life ill. But just as sure as the tide starts turning, just as sure as the night has dawned, just as sure as the rainfall soon runs dry when you stand in an eye of a storm. I was made to be tested and twisted. I was made to be broken and beat. I was made by his hand, it's all part of his plan that I stand on my own 2 feet. And you know me, my will is eternal. And you know me, you've met me before. Face to face with a beast, I will rise from the east and I'll settle on the ocean floor. And I go by many names also. Some people know me as hope. Some people know me as the voice that you hear when you loosen the noose on the rope. And you know how I know that I'll prosper? 'Cause I stand here beside you today. I have stood in the flames that cremated my brain, and I didn't once flinch or shake. So care of the man I've become when I sing from the top of my lungs that I won't retire, I'll stand in your fire, inspired by me to be strong. And when I am gone I will rise in the music that I left behind. Ferocious, persistent, immortal like you, we're a climate different side.
Yeah. And then he gets into the whole idea here of that I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to give up. If you're going through hell, keep going, right? If everything is terrible, but I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give in to what you are telling me to do, even though you are a part of me. You being the other voice. And I will use that to fuel myself, fuel my art. Maybe it will reach somebody else when I send it out into the world, and they will also hear this, and they will have enough strength to continue to go on for one more step, or one more day, or one more week, or one more month, or one more year. And that's all that matters. And he gets to show off some of his singing ability, which was actually really super nice.
When I was 17 years old, I shouted out into an empty room, into a blank canvas that I would defeat the forces of evil. And for the next 10 years of my life, I suffered the consequences, with autoimmunity, illness, and psychosis. As I got older, I realized there were no real winners and there were no real losers in psychological warfare, but there were victims and there were students. It wasn't David versus Goliath. It was a pendulum, eternally swaying from the dark to the light. And the more intensely that the light shone, the darker the shadow it cast. It was never really a battle for me to win. It was an eternal dance. And like a dance, the more rigid I became, the harder it got. The more I cursed my clumsy footsteps, the more I struggled. So I got older, and I learned to relax. And I learned to soften, and that dance got easier. It is this eternal dance that separates human beings from angels, from demons, from gods. And I must not forget, we must not forget, that we are human beings.
So does this just play out with him leaving the room? Yeah, it looks like it does. Huh. Yeah, interesting. I've never heard that. I don't know. How do you? I had plenty to say during this, but I think what he has to say here is really quite smart. He has gone through stuff that I certainly have never gone through, especially talking about this, this section right at the end here, um, dealing with autoimmunity, illness, and psychosis. Realized there were no real winners and no real losers in psychological warfare, but there were victims and there were students. It wasn't David versus Goliath. It was a pendulum eternally swaying from the dark to the light, and the more intensely the light shone, the darker the shadow it casts. It was never a battle. This is the line that I really like. It was never really a battle for me to win. It was an eternal dance. And then he says the more he resisted it, the harder it got. The more I cursed my clumsy footsteps, the more I struggled. And as he got older, he learned to relax and learned to soften, and the dance got easier. And I think that's actually something that people can learn a lot from. One of my very strong beliefs is one of our problems as sentient beings is that we have expectations. We expect a thing to go a certain way, and when it doesn't, it makes us angry, it makes us disappointed, it makes us feel like failures, it makes us be unhappy with what we get because it wasn't what we expected to get. If we had no expectation, we wouldn't have that reaction. And I think in some ways that's related to what he's saying is instead of fighting against what was happening to him, he worked with it, he went along with it, and it became easier to mold it, to guide it, to live through it, to survive it, than it was when he fought it. And it's not a matter of giving up, right? It's not a matter of encountering something and saying, I just don't care. Whatever. It's not a matter of that. It's a matter of looking at a thing and going, I may want this to go a certain way, but whatever happens, I'm going to have to deal with it because that's just how it went. That's just how the world has decided to go. I don't have control over it. All I can control is my reaction to it. And it is a thing that people struggle with their entire lives to figure out. Like, I might have an expectation, but that doesn't mean I have to be unhappy with how things turn out when they don't turn out how I want them to. It's hard to do. I'm still unhappy with how things have turned out in my life, so I'm still not there. But I try to make myself not get too tied up in it. My brain doesn't help sometimes. My brain just dwells on shit and depression and blah, 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 blah. But when I'm feeling good. I tried, like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All I got to do is just keep going. Just keep working at it. And I think that's kind of what he's saying too. Work, just keep going. Everybody has these struggles. Everybody has to go through this stuff. Because everybody's alive, everybody's human, everybody has their own things. I really thought this was good. I know nothing about this guy, but it does make me curious to check out more of his stuff because, I mean, I want to say every song can't be like this one. But at the same time, if he's dealt with what he's dealt with and is dealing with what he's dealing with, he probably has a lot to say. So, there you go. Very cool. Thank you to Patrick for sending this in. I appreciate it. I am not going to do another video tonight. I thought I was going to, but this was too long. Thanks very much. Pop Squad. Check it out. Please like, subscribe, share. Please go watch another video on the channel. CashApp, PayPal, Patreon down below in the description of the video. There's also a playlist down there that you should go check out because it's very, very good. Have yourself a good day. And good night.